Those who've walked out on first dates, what was your I'm out of here moment? 1. Had a first date with a girl who insisted we go to a really expensive place, where she ordered a $25 appetizer, $45 steak and a $15 drink. She wouldn't put down her phone, kept taking calls and answering texts. The waitress noticed and motioned for me from behind her. I excused myself, and the waitress had separate bills all made up and asked if I wanted to pay my share and leave her at the table. I said, that would be wonderful. So I did. 2. This guy and I were eating dinner after chatting for a couple of weeks, and unprompted, in the middle of something I was saying, and completely unrelated to what was being discussed, he said something along the lines of, so you know in order for this to work you're gonna have to share yourself, right? My friends and I like to pass girls around. I was pretty dumbfounded, and after a bit of stuttering I told him I didn't think it was going to work, asked for a to-go box and my portion of the check, and noped the F out of there. 3. He invited me and a friend to play dodgeball with a group of folks I've never met. We're having an okay time, he's paying more attention to his friends but that's fine because I've got my friend to keep me occupied. We're hanging out in the parking lot before the first game is about to start when out of nowhere he grabs a ball and throws it at my crotch as hard as he can. This idiot screams wham, bam, right in the clam. I immediately turn to my friend and ask her if she's ready to leave. I say goodbye to him and his friends. Immediately come home to a grip of texts about how immature I was behaving. 4. Went to meet a guy for the first time at his house. There was a pile of toenail clippings on his coffee table. And it wasn't one recent clipping. It was many clippings. Out the door I went. 5. The fact that within 10 minutes of meeting him he started making comments and joking about following me home if I rejected him. I got out with the help of a bartender who let me leave out the back door. 6. Not me, but this happened to a friend. So my friend picks up this girl and they're on their way to dinner and she says, you do realize that if this is gonna work you have to shave that beard off, right? He didn't say anything, just turned around and dropped her back off at her house. 7. Went to pick up my blind date. She opened the door and looked at me. Ew. I looked at her and said yeah, I agree, and turned on my heel and left. Total date time less than 5 minutes. 8. 1 p.m. lunch date and she was wasted. She invited me back to her place, where she said her 2-year-old son wouldn't even notice. I noped out and called her a cab home. I still feel bad for the son years later. 9. She brought her pet rat with her that was hanging out of her bra, feeding it French fries. She casually mentioned she had warrants, so I just faked an emergency and bailed.